Okay, here is version 1 of the tracker. So we have the basic one here just with sounds going on. As I get closer, the sound will get louder, as long as they're actually moving. There we go. And as I get further away, you'll get quieter. Okay, I've also added the ability to animate the overlay. So you can see I now have a green bar going up and down, also the lights to flash in. But obviously you're going to need a lot of images for that. So if you don't want to bother, you can just turn it off and then it won't bother looking for those images, and you can just have the flat straight image much faster. You can change the range right down if you want to adjust how soon they appear on the thing here, so you can see I have to get much closer now for it to register that there's a guy moving in front of me. And of course the angle's the same as well. If you want to change the angle, it's just because of the cone on my display. So if you had a circle, you could leave this at the 360 and it would pick up the entire circle around you. Because we're only sort of detecting the cone in front of us, we've got a 95-degree angle here. You can change how often this gets updated, so if we change this up, say, actually we'll leave it at 150, but if you want it to be sort of smoother movement, we can reduce it down so that they'll have less flickering in the dot movement. So you can see they're sort of updating much more smooth as they move along, but at the same time you can also adjust the movement distance required. So let's make it say 100, so they need to move further before their dot gets updated in its positioning. So you can see now they're sort of blinking across the screen rather than being a smooth move from one place to the next. So depending on how accurate you want your motion tracker to be, you can change the settings to be either highly accurate or more of a rough idea. Same thing with the fade time, is like how long it takes for that dot to disappear. So this is about a second right here. I've made it all in milliseconds, so you can sort of do a very fine tune on these. The tracker X and Y is where the image is going to be on the screen and how big it is with the size here, but I've sort of just done full size images in my testing, so that I've just done the entire screen and then just made the areas I don't want to show as transparent. But if you sort of want to play around with these with a smaller image, you can do like a more specific size and stuff, that's fine, should work. The other thing is we are doing it in layers, so you have like the background and you have an overlay on top. So I'll just show you what I mean. So if I turn this overlay off, you can see all I have now is the basic graph here on the screen. So the overlay will just be to hide the edges sort of thing, is the basic idea, but obviously it goes on top, so it's to sort of hide the dots and things as well if you need to. You know, you can hide areas of the map if you want to as well, or hide areas of the screen, I should say. And then you've got the player X and player Y, which is the offset. So let's just move this to say 60, and I'll show you what I mean. There's a little power sign on the screen over here. You can now see the buttons of the dots have moved over on the screen to the right, and basically you need to match that offset to the way your player will be on the screen. So it's a bit of a trial and error, that one. But obviously because your image could be any image and any like position on there could be where the player is, it's very hard to work that out other than just trial and error. So you just play around with these two values until it gets right, and then obviously the show offset is just that little power sign. You can remove it if you want to. So now there's no little V or upside down V thing there, so that you can sort of, it's just for you really, so you can see where it is and then make sure everything's all lined up nicely. So you can see it's all back in place again. Obviously, I've already mentioned we have sounds. Oh, we can change how big the blips are as well, so let's just make this 3 and 3 perhaps. Now they're much bigger. But obviously if you had a much bigger tracker on your screen, then you might want to make them bigger. Dots, but yeah, I think 1's probably going to be fine for most cases. We can change whether it's a toggle or not, so whether you need to hold down Q to bring it up or not. Can't really see that in the video, but basically if you turn this off, you have to hold down Q to bring the tracker up, and it will stay up as long as you're holding Q, and when you let go it will go back. Otherwise you have to press Q to toggle it on and then press Q again to toggle it off. Of course you can have it animated or not, we've already done that one, and how fast it animates here as well. So let's just put it up to 3, and then we can see that green bar is going to be much faster. Doesn't do anything to the actual tracking, it's just the animation, so that you don't have to go in and fine-tune the images quite so much if you don't want. If you have an animation sequence of images that you're happy with, but you want it to be slightly faster or whatever, then you can just change that here. And I think that should be it. Obviously the sounds are down here, so you got taking the tracker out, putting it away, and you have the little pinging or bleeping or whatever for when it actually detects movement. The other things are no, I think that's it actually. Should be all good.